Welcome to the structure analysis class. In this class, we will discuss about the shear and moment diagram for a beam. So if you recall, last class we have discussed about the shear force and bending moment function for a beam section. So we have solved a problem also using a cantilever beam where the uniformly varying load is applied and how actually you can derive the shear force and bending moment function that we have discussed in the last class. So in this class, we will actually draw the shear force and bending moment diagram for a beam. So what exactly we have to do here? So if you see, this is a slab resting on these small secondary beams. So whatever load is coming from this slab, that will be first transferred to these beams. So these beams actually we call it secondary beams. So now from this secondary beam, this beam is also resting on this girder, right? This is a concrete or steel girder depending on the structure. So here maybe it is a concrete girder. So these secondary beams are actually resting on this primary beam. So this beam will now experience the stress. The load will be transferred to this beam. And if you see, this will be maybe UDL. So each beam is spacing approximately 1 meter if it is there. Then there may be a multiple concentrated load also may be acting in this beam. So like this is one concentrated load, that is another concentrated load. Like that, there may be a many concentrated multiple load, concentrated load acting on a reinforced concrete beam or maybe a steel girder. This will create the variation in the internal forces in a beam. So means that there may be a variation in the moment and the shear force across the beam length. So for this reason, the shear force and bending moment diagram we should draw to exactly visualize the behavior of the bending moment and shear force diagram. Before designing this beam, designing means what should be the depth, height, how many reinforcement required. So that we call it design of a structure. So before designing of the structure, we first we should first know the bending moment and the shear force of this diagram, shear force of this beam, of this section of this beam. So that's why we should first draw the bending moment and shear force. So in this class, basically we will discuss how exactly you can draw the shear force and the bending moment diagram. So let's derive our basic equation for the shear force and bending moment diagram. Then we'll draw the SFD and BMD. So we'll start first derivation of our shear force and bending moment. So here is a beam, it is an arbitrary beam. So it is a simply supported beam and the loading is arbitrary loading. If you see, there may be a concentrated load of F1, F2, F3 and there may be some UDL also acting. This WX is basically the UDL. So now let's derive our equation. So to derive equation, let's take a small section at a distance of x from the left hand side support. So we take a small section in this beam. So obviously this section is not, so this beam, so the section where we have taken, that is delta x at a distance of x. So above this there is no concentrated force acting, so only UDL is acting above this point delta x. So we have taken a small section which length is delta x from this entire original beam and we have drawn the free body diagram, this one. So you can see the length of this small section is basically delta x. So same thing we have kept delta x and the left side of this section is moment M acting and the shear force is V, internal force, because of this because of these forces, right, external forces. So that much is the internal force generated left hand side of this section, and then you have UDL is acting, right, this UDL WX UDL is acting upward direction. So that's what WX is acting UDL. The dotted line is basically the UDL. But if you replace this UDL into a concentrated force, then that should be WX into delta x. Delta x is the length. So now if you replace this UDL into a concentrated force, single concentrated force, which is acting at the center, then the value of the concentrated force will be WX into delta x. So that is the concentrated force acting at the center. And now this side, so because it should this free body diagram is also in the equilibrium, Then so that's why the right side of the free body diagram, so there will be little increment in the shear force. So left side the shear force was V, whereas the right side the shear force little bit increased to V plus delta V. Why there is increase? Because there is increase in the share, there is increase in the concentrated force here, Wx delta x. So this force is increased, right, from left to right if you are coming. So here it was V, but when you come to here, there is extra load added. So that's why there is also increase in the shear force, delta V. Similarly, moment also increased. Earlier it was m left side, now right side it is m plus delta m. To maintain the equilibrium of this free body diagram, that's what we have drawn. So now we apply our equilibrium equation to this free body diagram. So what is our equilibrium equation? First one is summation of all the vertical forces equal to 0. So what are the vertical forces acting in this body? So one vertical force is V acting upward. So that's why plus V. Now next vertical force is acting is this concentrated force Wx delta x. So this is also acting upward, right? So that's why it is upward. Wx delta x is also acting upward. Now if you come another vertical force which is acting downward, V plus delta V. So this is minus V plus delta V is acting because it is downward. Should be equal to 0. So from this equation you get delta V equal to Wx delta x. If you just simplify, V will be cancelled out and only it will be remaining delta V. So delta V equal to Wx into delta x. Now similarly, if you apply summation of all the moments about O should be equal to 0, then what are the moments acting? So first moment is M. So M is acting at a clockwise direction, right? But what is our sign convention? So anti-clockwise we consider it as a positive. So but this M is acting as a clockwise. So that's why it will be negative M. So that's why it is written minus M. So this is one moment is acting. So next is this, because of the shear force also you will get a moment at O. So how much will be the moment because of the shear force? So force into distance. Force is how much? V into distance is delta x. So that's why, and it is also the direction is clockwise, means negative. So minus V into delta x. So that is also another moment is coming. So these two moment is over. So now if you see another force is acting, this Wx delta x. This is also a moment, a force which will cause moment at O. So how much will be the moment? So Wx delta x, Wx delta x into distance. So this distance is also epsilon delta x. So epsilon delta x, this distance. So it may be half also if we consider this is a uniformly distributed load del Wx, then this will be half because here Wx is given as arbitrary load, right? So if it is a UDL, then the epsilon value is half, is value, epsilon's value. But here it is arbitrary Wx, so that's why we consider it as a epsilon. So it may be at the middle or it may be at the left or right, we don't know. That's why we consider it as epsilon into delta x, this distance. So how much moment will come because of this force? Wx delta x into epsilon delta x. That's what Wx delta x into epsilon delta x. So this entire moment will be generated because of this concentrated force. Now next is last is this moment is acting and this moment is anti-clockwise. So anti-clockwise means we have the positive. So that's a positive m plus delta m. So the entire moment this equal to should be equal to 0. So from this equation, if you simplify, please try to simplify this equation and you will get it. This is the final version. So many things will be cancelled out and finally this part will be remains. So delta V equal to Wx delta x and delta m equal to V into delta x plus Wx epsilon delta x square. So that is the final expression you got. So now if you just divide this entire equation into delta x and both, then what you get? Just divide this into delta x. Delta x. So this delta x will be cancelled out. So delta v by delta x is what? Basically dv by dx in our calculus term. This should equal to w into x because only this part remains. So that's what we have written here. Dv by dx is equal to Wx. Wx is what? Concentrated, sorry, UDL, or distributed load, basically, Wx. So what is dV dx? V is our shear force. So dV dx is basically slope in the shear force diagram. So differentiation will be slope. Slope in the shear force diagram is basically the intensity of the distributed load. So W is the intensity of the distributed load, right? So this is the one conclusion we got. So now again, this moment equation, now take this moment equation, and if you want to substitute this, you divide it by delta x. What is remain? So this also you divide it by delta x. So delta x will be cancelled out. So this also you divide it by delta x. So delta x, one delta x will be cancelled out. Now only delta x is remain there. Now take the limit, a limit, and delta x tends to 0. Then what will happen? So this term will, and so delta, so this will be multiplied 0. So this entire term will now vanish, because here delta x is 0 now, tends to 0. We have considered, we have taken limit. Now what remains? So dm by dx equal to v, right? So that is another conclusion we got from this equation. So that's what is written here also, del m del x equal to v. So v is a shear force. So what is del m del x? M is a moment, right? So slope in the moment diagram, del m del mx is a slope. So slope in the moment diagram is basically your shear force. So this too is very important, important conclusion we have received. That is, slope in the shear force diagram is nothing but the intensity of the distributed load. Similarly, a slope at the moment diagram is basically the shear force. So now if you just take the integration of this one, you will get del v equal to integration of wx del x. Similarly, if you take the integration of this equation, you will get it moment equal to shear force into del x. So change in shear equal to area under the distributed loading. So this is area, right? Integration del x dx is basically area under the distributed loading, that is equal to change in shear. Similarly, change in moment is basically area under the shear force diagram. So these two conclusions we have got. So please remember these two equations. This is one equation, that is another equation. So now what is the procedure for analysis? Our first job will be to calculate the support reaction. Then we'll draw the shear force diagram, and then we'll draw the bending moment diagram. So let's directly jump into example and let's see how exactly it is. So here we'll solve a simple problem. So consider this is a simply supported beam where one side is hinge, another side is roller, and uniformly varying load is applied into this beam. So you can see the one side the magnitude is 20 kilonewton, whereas the other side it is 0, uniformly varying. So our first step will be to find out the support reaction. So how to calculate the first support reaction? So let's consider, just do it here only. So total here, how much is the total load acting on this beam? So this side it is 20 and this side it is 0. So it is a triangular type load is acting on this beam. So total load will be the area, simply area of this triangle. So how much is the area? So half into base. Base is how much? 9 meter, right? 9 into height. So height is given as 20. So from this, if you get it, you will get it 90, right? 90 kilonewton is total load is acting. So now if you replace this entire UDL into a point load of 90 kilonewton, so this is a point load acting at 90 kilonewton, then the distance will be the CG, simply CG of this triangle. So CG of this triangle is how much? So it will be 1/3, right? 1/3 means 3. So here 90 is acting. So now using this concentrated load and equilibrium of entire body, we can find it out what is the reaction at RA. Simply, what is the reaction at RB? Know how to do that. So we'll take a moment about maybe B, moment about B equal to 0. So what are the forces acting on this about B? One is RA. RA is acting as a clockwise direction into Ra into 9 will be the moment. So we'll write Ra into 9. So this is one moment. Then another moment is acting this one, like this vertically downward. This is the anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise means negative. So 90 into distance will be 3, right? Equal to 0. So from here we can calculate what is the value of Ra. So Ra will be simply 30. Then what will be the RB? Total load is acting is 90. So RB will be 60. So that's what. So if you see, this is 30 and this side it is 60. So total reaction we can calculate like that. So now we have to draw the bending shear force diagram. So how to draw the shear force diagram? So let's see how we can do that. So here is a 30 kilonewton reaction, whereas here it is 60. So now let's see how much is the shear force at this point. At this point, when x equal to 0 means at this point, how much is the shear force? So shear force is 30 kilonewton upward, right? So in the moment in the shear force diagram, you just simply substitute this as a 30. So at this point x equal to 0, the value here is 30 over. Now next is at this when x equal to 9 means at this point, what is the shear force at this point? So shear force at this point will be 60, which is acting, right? So it is the right side of the section. So upward means it is a negative. That's why minus 60 is acting at this point. So now you just simply draw a parabolic line. It will crosses at some point at in the axis. So at this point has actually zero shear force. So starting with left side, here you have the positive 30, and then gradually the shear force is decreasing, and certain some point it is zero. Then again it is going to the minus, and when it reaches to the 9 meter up to this, so here to here we are traveling. So when it reaches to here, it is a minus 60 kilonewton. So that's how the shear force diagram. So now the next question is how to find out where the shear force is zero. So at this point, so let's consider this distance as a x. So let's consider this distance as a x. So from here to here, let's consider this as a x. So now draw the free body diagram of this structure. So we take a section here. So if you take this beam, we don't know the where it is, where the shear force is zero. So we take consider it as x. So now draw the free body diagram of this side. So that is drawn here. So here this diagram. So just the left side it is 30. So it is 30 kilonewton acting here. Similarly, we consider it as a distance of x. Now what will be the vertically up? What will be the magnitude here? In the last problem, if you see last slide, we have discussed how to calculate at this point. So this is a linearly varying load, right? So just using the using the triangular equation. So 20 by total is 9 equal to y by x. So from here you can calculate what is the value of y. So y will be how much? 20 by 9x. So that's what it is written here. If you see, this is 20x by 9 is the magnitude here. So now if you just replace this UVL, I mean uniformly varying load into a point load, then this value will be how much? So simply area of this triangle. So how much will be the area? Area is half into base. Base is how much? X. So half into x into height. Height is 20x by 9. 20x by 9. So that much is the concentrated load acting at a distance of 1/3 of this total length. So total length is x. So 1/3 will be x by 3. So from here this concentrated load is acting now. So now let's find out what is the what is the shear force at this point. So this should be equal to 0. That's what we have considered, right? We have considered x at a distance where the shear force is 0. So we are basically finding out this point. So now just to substitute the equilibrium equation, summation of all the vertical forces equal to 0, and then what are the forces acting? So one is 30 kilonewton acting upward. So this is 30. Now this concentrated load acting downward, so that's why minus this entire concentrated load, this 2 equal to 0. like v equal to 0. That's what. So from this equation you can compute the what is the value of x. So x is 5.2. So from here to 5.2 meter distance, basically you have the zero shear force. So that's how actually we draw the shear force diagram, and you find out actually where the shear force zero, this touchdown, this meeting point, intersecting point, basically we have calculated using simply the equilibrium of equations. Now let's do it for the moment as well. So this is a moment diagram. So moment diagram, there will be, this is simply supported beam, right? So simply supported beam means you have, if you just draw the beam again here. So you have one side is hinge, another side is roller, and you have uniformly varying load, right? So like that you have the loading pattern. So now same thing you apply. So we in the before in the shear force diagram we saw that up to 5.002 you have the shear force positive, and then again shear force interacts and it crosses into the negative section. So the moment diagram will be how to do that. So in the last figure, if you recall, so we have now 30. So if you just consider the moment at the midpoint where shear force V equal to 0. So where x was, we computed 5.2 meter. The shear force 0 is that one. So now in the same location, if you want to find out what is the moment, so how to do that? So in the same figure, we just draw the free body diagram. If you remember last slide, we have drawn here. So it was 30 acting, and then you have this UVL, and then we have this shear force, and as well as the moment M. So now we are basically computing this M. So this X also we know now. So X is 5.2. That's what we computed in the last slide. So how much will be the moment M? So M will be minus 30 into 5.2. 5.2 is this distance, 30 is this force into distance. You will get the moment. So this is the moment plus because of this entire concentrated force. So that much is the concentrated force into distance was x by 3. So that much is the x by 3. If you remember, we discussed in the last slide, that is the distance. So simply if you do it, plus m is the same. So you will get the what is the moment. Where the shear force was 0. So at this x equal to 5.2, shear force V was 0, whereas moment was actually maximum. It will be 104 kilonewton. That's what we computed here. And see the moment diagram. So up to 5.2, you have the positive moment, that is positive slope of the moment, and then when the shear force also negative, so your slope of this moment also it is going downward. So it is a negative slope. So that's how actually we draw the moment diagram using our equations. Thank you.